This episode of New Jersey Living, we are revisiting once again Montclair, New Jersey. And there's a reason why. You can see in my previous episodes, there are some locations in the various towns that I visited that I come back for routine visits. And by routine, I mean there's more than one episode. There are certain locations just because of the size and scope of the city or the town, like a Jersey City, I'm going to be recording in various different locations in different neighborhoods. Montclair is another one of those locations. I've had two previous episodes, and we're going to dive in today to really go a little deeper into why Montclair is what I consider to be the premier suburb in New Jersey, but certainly we're talking about to New York City. So stick around to see some features that we're going to look at in town. Unlike some of the other episodes, we're not so much focusing on recent real estate sales or market info in general, but we will throw in towards the end, so just stick around, just slightly outside of Montclair and in Glen Ridge, there is a property that I had previewed in my Glen Ridge episode that was in the process of being rehabbed, and it is done and on the market. And I'm just want to feature that as a piece because it's just outside of the Montclair boundary, but nonetheless will include a little bit of real estate in there as well. So again, stick around to the end to see the inside and even outside of that particular property. But outside of that, other than that, we're going to really focus on just the whys of Montclair. What makes it so special? Why do so many people find this as a attractive location? Because it is indeed a premium suburb in the northern New Jersey region. So stick around. Let's dive in now. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent in New Jersey with Coldwell Banker and team leader of the New Jersey Living Group. Also host of New Jersey Living, the podcast. This particular episode is actually being simulcast. So while I'm doing this as a YouTube episode, it also is going to stream on my podcast as well. There's a lot of interesting insights that we have to share as we dive into Montclair. So if you're looking to learn all things New Jersey, obviously real estate, dining scenes, social entertainment venues, iconic locations, this is the channel for you. So go ahead and click like, subscribe, notification bell. You want to stay updated on when content like this is coming your way. So with Montclair, you've seen some of my other episodes. I'll flash up a couple thumbnails that you probably are familiar with. These are some of those episodes that have been most viewed for a reason, because most people are either familiar with or curious about Montclair, New Jersey. So what are some of the things that stand out about Montclair? And I'm going to start right off the bat just by flashing up a map of Montclair, New Jersey. So where Montclair is located in proximity to New York City, it is very, very close, a very convenient trip to get into Midtown Manhattan. And what that means is a lot of New York City commuters who want to have more of a suburban feel, be close to the city, but live more in a suburban environment, but an environment that also has a vibrant culture to it. Montclair ends up being one of those locations that they really prefer. So the first factor that we're going to dive into is the city vibe with a suburban feel. And by city vibe, we're talking about a lot of diversity when it comes to dining, when it comes to entertainment, when it comes to art, all these cultural dynamics that you don't necessarily find in a suburban town, right? So it's a small city vibe because of that. It's a very eclectic scene with the different dining options that you have and with various entertainment venues. The Montclair Film Festival is one, and we're going to dive into why right now. So the Montclair Film Festival is a 10-day event, happens annually. This year, it's going to happen in the fall. It's in the month of October for the year 2024. And during this time frame, it's a feature on films. A lot of them are going to promote local New Jersey films or New Jersey filmmakers. but you get a lot of local celebrities as well. So Montclair, being what it is certainly a draw for celebrities because it's so close to New York, and it has such unique features when it comes to housing and other things I've already mentioned. So Stephen Colbert is an example of a celebrity right there in Montclair that has been a feature visitor or participant in the film festival in the past. We have some other celebrities such as Aaron Rodgers, quarterback now of the New York Jets, formerly of the Green Bay Packers. He is now a Montclair resident. And then there's others who have been Montclair residents in the past. It's a long list, but another prominent athlete who's now more in the entertainment world as well is Michael Strahan. But these really star kind of figures will routinely be a part of some of the events like we're talking about right now with the film festival. So the restaurants get involved. There are all types of events that really center around the film festival itself, but are oriented for kids, different types of interests. Of course, with films, it can vary to documentary, to more drama or romance or anything under the sun when it comes to that genre of entertainment. But it is a feature item for the community that you don't find in the other local surroundings as much. Jersey City, you do find some film sets that take place there routinely, but when it comes to a full-scale, multiple-day film festival, Montclair is the place to be. Reason number 2 is commutability to New York City, the ease of commute. So, as I mentioned when I flashed up that map a little earlier, Montclair is just outside of New York City, a very convenient drive. You're talking about roughly about a 35-minute drive to get to Midtown Manhattan, barring traffic, of course. But there's also multiple train stations, right? So most towns may have one, if not two, stations, and Montclair has many. In reference to Montclair's train stations, there are some that are technically right on that boundary of other townships like Little Falls, Montclair State University, where my daughter is an alumni. There are 2 stations that are there, but both of them are not really in Montclair, although Montclair University itself gives you the impression that both are Montclair. But there's a train station at the university, and the train stations stretch all the way down till you get to Glen Ridge. So these stations essentially provide a reasonable walking distance to many residents, whether you're in Upper Montclair or if you're in the Montclair, which I just call it downtown. It's closer to Bloomfield Ave, where the core of the restaurants are. There is a reasonable walk for many residents in Montclair, and definitely an easy drive to travel to a train station. So the commutability is a key. You don't want to do train, bus is also accessible, all right, to get into the city. So commute is another factor that makes it such a very, very premium location as a New York City suburb. Factor number 3, parks and green spaces. Anderson Park is one. I've been there. I filmed there in one of my episodes. Lovely park. Their summer activities, I had mentioned there. At that point in time, I believe there was recently a concert that took place, free outdoor concert during the summer months. But a great location. Dining is never really far away from really any of the green spaces, these larger park areas in town. Anderson Park is one. Another one is a bit of a hidden gem. The Van Vliet House and Gardens is a bit of a hidden gem in Montclair. It's a home that is over 100 years old, built in 1916. Is now a place that just hosts an absolutely beautiful garden that you can go. Obviously, spring, summer is the ideal time to go. But there are multiple locations, not exactly, Van Vliet is certainly unique, but there are other art, there's an art museum right there in town, but also other locations that provide this really scenic, beautiful aesthetic that you again don't find in just any town. So to have that as a featured green space is another factor to consider a location like Montclair. And although we're not going to dive deep into real estate in terms of the housing market for this particular episode, the general architecture of homes in Montclair are, again, they're they're priced at a premium for a reason. You find homes that can be more for a Montclair standard, modest price, 900 to maybe 900,000 to about 1.2 million. You can find some that are quite extraordinary, 2.5 million up to even 4 million. And then you find the just flat out spectacular. All right. That, for example, what Aaron Rodgers purchased when he relocated to New Jersey and now quarterbacks the New York Jets, something in the scale of 12 million. All right. So Montclair has an extraordinary variety, whether it be something really historic in nature with Victorian, Art Deco, you find even contemporary styles that are more modern, but you find a mix of them all at various price ranges, but some that are true estates right there in Montclair. And number 5, schools. School ratings. If you've seen any of my episodes, all right, any of them, I dive into what I call the big 3. Big 3, one of the factors two of the factors we've already mentioned: proximity to New York City and local train station in town. So Montclair already has the checks for both of those. Top tier schools is another factor. I always refer to niche.com. I stay away from having my own subjective opinions on that matter, but schools are a significant factor. So schools, whether you have children or not, some people who are looking at real estate and may not have any school-age children may favor a location that has high-rated schools because it translates to real estate value. And Montclair certainly has that, right? So the niche.com, as you can see, I flash up here really quick, A-rated schools. This is going to be another significant factor which makes Montclair such a premium location when we're talking about suburbs in New Jersey. And the final factor, which is certainly not the least of them, is the food factor. If you just take a drive down Bloomfield Ave, if you're around Church Street, which is in the heart of that foodie scene, there is a lot to offer there, but that's just not the only food scene in Montclair. The most probably frequented in terms of number of people or people who just drive through, because that's a major thoroughfare. If you're traveling from, I'll say, West Orange, South Orange area through Montclair into Bloomfield, yes, that's the most frequented in terms of just traffic volume. But there are plenty of other options in Montclair, even Upper Montclair, that have fabulous, fabulous food options. So if you're considering just traditional American, Greek, Italian, Thai, Chinese, really you name it. I'm just throwing out a few things. I feature Cuban Pete's in one of my episodes. There's a little of everything that you can ask for right there in Montclair. So the food scene is impeccable. All right. So I cannot think of any place. There's been other places that will have some pretty well established and high end food scenes. Like I think about Jersey City. I think about Princeton. Hoboken has quality. Ridgewood. There are Summit. Yes, there are some great food scenes all around, but there's none that I've seen that are going to equal Montclair, but that's my opinion. So that would be one that I would say, even if you're not looking to move to Montclair, buy a Montclair, this is something that you want to experience, especially if it's a spring, summer day that you have the time and opportunity and happen to be in the area. It's worth looking up. Just click Yelp and take a pick, right? Pick whatever really favors your palate, right? So definitely worth the drive for the food scene. So all these factors, they really equate to a premium price to live in a community. The home prices are not, quite for those who have a more modest budget. But again, if it's something that you are considering as maybe I can find something on the low end of the market, it's worth exploring something that's a fixer-upper. And on that note, we're going to segue right to the Glen Ridge property, where my colleague Monty Cole had basically on her own decided that she was going to dive into that investment side of things and basically rehab a home that has quite unique historic features itself. and renovate, and now prepared for the market. So we're going to now transition to that location. So let's hop over there and take a look at what Mondi has done in the Glen Ridge rehab that we featured on a previous episode. All right, welcome to our part 2 of the Glen Ridge renovation. If you have watched my Glen Ridge episode, you definitely want to take a look at it if you have not, because Mondi and I, and this is my colleague Mondi Cole, by the way, also a Coldwell banker, for those who didn't see the first episode, we were here when this property was bare bones being renovated, and now you're going to have an opportunity to see the finished product as I announced in that episode. So Mondi, just give us a little bit of a description here, particularly as it pertains to the outside, because the exterior, if you remember, Mondi gave us some very important pointers about being in a historic area and town requirements. So Mondi, just give us a little idea of the scope of the work, some of those hitches that you came across as well, because scheduling wise, that made a difference, right? So give us a little idea of how that journey was for you.
So first of all, I'm sure you can see by the smile on my face, I'm so happy this project is done. Okay,
yes.
We are finished. We have we've achieved our goal here. We're very pleased with it. So the outside, we went with natural cedar, and that was was the cedar done when we?
It was still bare. It was not finished the way it is right now.
Okay,
no.
yeah. So the town required us to go with natural cedar. That wasn't our original plan, but the house originally had cedar, so we had to stick to it. Okay, and that impacted our budget. It impacted our time, and then there were also other things that popped up along the way, just unexpectedly. Just trying to get new electrical through PSE&G, and that was during around the holidays, and so that was really hard to schedule. That sort of pushed us back a month. And just, I can't even think about all of the things, but that's part of this business. So when you're doing a flip, when you're doing projects like this, you sort of have to add that into your overall plan, because there are going to be setbacks, but you keep pushing forward. You plan for them, and then you achieve what you came to do. Another set, and just glancing over at this deck, that made me think about another setback. So another setback was just in terms of where the pillars were, and the foundation of this deck had to be changed. So it's a lot of different pieces of the puzzle, and players actually being able to communicate effectively to make sure everyone's on the same page, so that foundation gets placed properly, and we know exactly how the deck is going to come out. So we ran into issues like that, but we overcame them, as you can see. And we have our beautiful white cedar siding on the house. We have all thermal windows, and just the lighting in the house. The amount of light this house gets is just amazing. The electrical we had actually rerouted, because the electrical was coming from the front of the house. Now it's coming from the back. So we had to make those changes, but we ended up with a very beautiful product, and we're very happy.
Well, this is just the beginning. We're about to go inside to take a look on the interior, because the exterior only explains part of the story. You're going to be watching, as you are right now, some exterior footage, and you're going to notice some differences even with the lane. There's a paved lane here now where it was gravel. All right, last time we were here. So that's just a few of those items that we already noticed out here on the outside. Let's take a trip inside now and see the rest of the journey. All right, now we are inside. Again, we are having a very different view of our first trip in here. It was all studs. All this was studs. As you go back, again, as I said earlier, go back to that initial Glen Ridge episode. You'll see the bonus footage at the end of when we filmed all of this, when it was just down to studs, and now we see the full vision. So Mondi's gonna walk us through just some of her vision and what we're going to see as we take the tour throughout the entire property. So Mondi, give us a little bit of a preview of what we're gonna see, kitchen, baths, anything else that we really should take note of.
Okay, so Yeah, so we are standing in the open concept living room and dining room and kitchen. So our overall vision for this space was really to just modernize it, but also soften it with the wood features and to really play off the outside that has the natural cedar and the porch and the deck with the wood, the natural wood. So we wanted to bring in the modern feel with the black, but also soften it with the wood, and that's why we came in with the white oak flooring, which is an engineered wood floor that's very durable, it's easy to clean, easy to keep clean. So the overall feel and goal that we were going for with the decor and the style of this floor was really to sort of bring in the feeling of being outside, really. So if you look around, you see a lot of big windows. Even with the lights off during the day, you sort of forget that you have the lights off. That's how much sun is just fills this environment. So we really wanted to play off that with the wood detail and our stager brought in the green, but I envision whoever lives here would have real plants and sort of want to I guess really ease into the nature from outside and bringing that in. And then also with the bathroom, we actually chose to do sliding doors, pocket doors for our half bath down here. And that really gives a lot of space for whoever the new buyer is to decide what they want to do in certain spaces. We really wanted to leave a lot of breathing room for the new buyer, for them to sort of be able to make the home theirs and have little projects that they can sort of do themselves. So that was purposeful. And then also in terms of my design touch, I'm loving the whole like bohemian farmhouse type of feel, and so that's why I'm sort of bringing in a lot of like the different cultural, like Asian feel, and then the actual hood on the range actually had that custom made. So that's a custom made natural pine range. And like I said before, it's just a lot of balancing of the black and the stainless steel, but not doing too much of each so that it's just a softer and a more calming feel. Okay, so we, of course we wanted to finish the basement to give the new family just some extra space, some chill out family space. And that's basically what we envisioned for this space, or if someone wants to have an office down here. There wasn't too much we can do. So in these older Dutch colonial homes, a lot of times you'll find you'll have like the center beam in the basement that's a little lower, and then you have these higher sections where you can stand up. But this really serves as just some extra family space that you can have, the kids play down here and that sort of thing. So, but we felt it was important to be able to offer it. Okay, so now we're here on the second level of the home. This was originally where the home ended, but you'll be sort of surprised by the end. But for these rooms, we actually shifted a lot around in terms of how they were structured. In fact, the room that we're in now actually was a lot smaller than this. We added a closet to it. And we felt it was important to stage this room because we think that people, if you just walk in it without furniture, you may think it's smaller than it actually is. But this is actually a queen size bed, and you have more than enough space to to have a bedroom or a guest room in this room. Also, one of the best features about this home is that it actually has two primary bedrooms. So we have one that has both of them have walk-in closets, their own bathrooms, and as you can see, the style sort of continues through the home with the more eclectic tiling. I chose to use Tangram tiles up here with a mixture of some grays and some blacks, and just sort of continuing on with the same feel of the look and feel of the downstairs. Okay, so this is like our grand finale of the home. This space We actually pitched the roof out. This was the original attic that was not being used other than for storage. But we pitched the roof out forward, and we made this the master suite for the home. And so it includes an ensuite bathroom, walk-in closet, cathedral ceilings. We wanted to make this space as airy and open and calming as we could. The views from this level are just amazing. You actually have New York City views from this window. And it's just breathtaking. I love being up here. It's inspiring. It just makes you feel like you're on top of the world, and almost you are, because you're already in a house that's on a hill and you're in the 3rd floor master suite.